Hello everyone, and welcome to the updated Upper Blackrock Spire Challenge Mode Gold Run. I'm your host Babyjace, and I was the Unholy Death Knight in this run. Upper Blackrock Spire is the longest challenge mode and probably the hardest one out of all 8, and it's pretty miserable. But you're gonna start, and you're gonna want to pull the mobs ahead of you, the mobs in the left room, and the mobs in the right room. And if you have a DK, you're gonna go ahead and Army of the Dead, and then AoE silence these mobs. Be careful, you don't want to stand in front of their cleave, and you don't want to stand in the dog's cleave. Make sure you kill the banners so that they don't grow big and pull a bunch of other mobs that are up ahead. Make sure the lead belchers don't go to a cannon and trigger them. You can death grip them back, you can typhoon Ursula's them, you just do stuff to make sure that they don't get to the cannon. Once you've killed those, go ahead and pull the 2 dogs and the lead belcher by itself. Usually you only pull it by yourself. This time we accidentally pulled all of them. But you generally want to pull them by yourself, but it's not really a big deal. Just again, try to prevent as many lead belchers as you can from activating cannons. Sometimes you really just can't, but they can be stunned, they can be feared, you can do a lot of different stuff with them. And again, banners are #1 priority. Just make sure you don't stand in front of the cleaves, and do not stand in the purple explosion type thing that the mobs are going to be doing. Alright, once you've dealt with that room, you're going to pull the room all the way in the back and the room next to the door, and you're going to AoE grip them together and go ahead and AoE stun them. Same rules apply on this trash. Don't stand in front of the cleave, and do not stand in the purple explosion. You will take a lot of damage. You can now ignore the banners, by the way. There is no other ads for the banners to call, so don't worry about that. And just make sure that you don't let them trigger cannons. But if they do trigger cannons, it's actually not a big deal, because you can actually just ignore the cannons and run up to the first boss, and the cannons will eventually despawn, or they'll stop being targeted on you guys. Once you've finished that pack, go ahead and run up and pull all the mobs together. And just kill them real quick. Have one or two people going around the room activating all the traps so that you can pull the boss. This boss is pretty simple. The only real change to it is on the first set of traps, you're going to leave one of the traps active, and at around 50% you're going to go ahead and click it, and this allows you to skip the second trap phase, and it's a pretty big DPS gain for your group if you're able to just entirely skip a set of traps. So right here, he's going to go and trigger that last trap at 50%. It's coming up, and there he goes. Boss is at around 51% or whatever. He hits the trap, and the second set of power conduits never happen. It's pretty easy to do. Just maybe it might take a couple tries to get used to, but it's very easy to do. And you pretty much just keep nuking into the boss at this point. If you have a Resto Druid, you can go ahead and just be DPSing the boss or using Heart of the Wild. This boss really doesn't do too much damage. On this set, just make sure you have people assigned to specific traps so that you break them pretty fast. Generally, we have like a DK and a Hunter do them. Blood DK and a Hunter do them. We don't really assign anyone else to do them. It's not really worth it. It's pretty easy to die here. And it's okay if one trap is left up for a little longer than usual. Once that third trap is done, though, he will pretty much go back to his normal phase and die very shortly after. See here, boss is dead, and we're going to the next room. In this next room, you're going to have to deal with 2 packs of a giant monstrosity, an alchemist, and a engineer. The engineer, just kick it. That's all you really can do with him. For the alchemist, make sure you purge the alchemist. Our hunter actually didn't have purge bound, or he didn't know where it was bound, so he didn't purge this alchemist for quite a long time. Like, he almost got the full heal off. But you definitely want to just purge the alchemy debuff, or the buffs that they gain, as that is a lot of healing they do. And don't get hit by the monstrosity cleave. Once the monstrosity is low, go ahead and go to the next pack and do the exact same thing. All you have to really do is interrupt the engineers and purge the alchemist. And don't stand in the cleave again. And by the way, not only does the big ad do a fire cleave, he also does a regular melee cleave ahead of him. So just don't stand in front of him unless you're the tank. That's really it. Once you've killed it, go ahead and pre-pot and use all your cooldowns on this boss and go ahead and lust. And you're going to pretty much want to be nuking down Kyrak while getting some cleave in on the monstrosities. Try not to stand inside their fire cleave. I actually do stand in their fire cleave, and I'm pretty sure I died too. It's coming up in a little bit. Yep, so the fire cleave was on the ground. I straight up did not see it, and I should have saw it. And I died. So don't stand in the fire cleave. It'll probably kill you. But go ahead, take your, res whoever if you can, and just make sure you keep interrupting the boss whenever he does his cast, and make sure you are purging him every time he puts the heal on himself. The ad should die pretty fast, especially if you're cleaving onto them from the boss. So make sure you do that. Just don't focus the ads, it's not needed. Just keep moving the boss more and more towards the hill. The lower the HP he gets, and the more filled up behind him the room gets. Once the boss is dead, or almost dead, I mean, you can bring it up here. It just kind of saves time if you just drag it up. But once the boss is dead, get ready to do the next pull. This next pull is pretty brutal. You want to make sure everyone is stacked together, though, for this pull. Like, you cannot be far away. And you're going to want to pull the pack directly to the left, up the hill, and across the hall. And just pull them all together and use your AoE stuns on these. And just AoE burn them down. Now don't let them get their AoE fear off. If you do, you're dead. Straight up. And do not be far away because they will charge you if you're not in melee range. And it will kill you. 100% it's going to kill you. But it's not a hard pack at all. Like, you just need an AoE stun and just AoE your asses off. And this pack will... both packs will die pretty fast. And it's a very efficient way to get your mob count. Now, we pulled the Ogre, the padding Ogre, and the two other Ogres. Now, you really don't want to do that. I would suggest you wait because these Ogres do a lot of damage. But regardless of whatever you do, make sure you are purging off the Ogres in Rage. It does a lot of damage, and it's going to be pretty hard for your tank to deal with this if they're not being purged. So just soothe them if you have a Druid, or Trank Shot if you have a Hunter. Or, I'm pretty sure rogues can shiv as well. Just make sure you don't stand in their cleave either. That cleave will probably one-shot you if you're not a tank. Once you've killed those, you're going to want to make your way to the stairs. Don't go up yet until that Ogre is far enough away from you. You don't want to pull that Ogre at all. And you're just going to go up the stairs, and you're going to pull these 4 mobs. And just, interrupt them when you can. Don't let them get too many casts off. They're kind of annoying. AoE stun if you have it. Like, I Remorseless here as well, because I had it back up. And just, just kill them. It's not a hard pull at all, really. When you do kill these and you're jumping down, make sure you dismiss your pet, though. I did not dismiss my pet, and thank God it did not summon, or not pull the Ogre. If it would have pulled the Ogre, it would have been really, really bad. So make sure you 100% dismiss your pet right there. Don't do what I do and risk it. I mean, nothing bad happened, but it was a really big risk, and we could have wiped. For this boss, you're just going to want to go right up against the fence so that you aggro all the mobs and get them to come out early. Kill them, don't stand in front of their cleaves, in front of the dog's cleaves anyways, just, kill them. Do the same thing for the second wave, you know, AoE them down. It's not, like these mobs are pretty easy to deal with, just don't stand in front of the cleave. Like I did, I almost died because I got 2 stacks of the cleave. And just make sure you interrupt them whenever you can, because their shadow bolts do a lot of damage. Ignore this, I forgot about Dark Sim, because there's a pull you can Dark Sim after this boss. So just make sure you have your bars set up and ready to go at the start of the instance, and don't do it mid-instance like I did. Again, go up against the gate, make sure you pull everything. AoE silence when you can, stun them when you can. Pull's kind of annoying, just don't let them get too many cast off. Once you've killed all the trash, the boss's dragon will appear, and it will come out eventually. Once it comes out though, you can hit it in midair, do whatever damage you can do to it in air, so that when it does become attackable, it's already like almost dead. It's going to be pretty important. Don't stand in front of the boss's breath, it will kill you very, very fast. It does a stacking debuff, and it ramps up in damage very, 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 very fast. But you want to make sure you kill the Sky Reaver, and when you do that, go ahead and kill Commander Tharbek. Try not to get hit by his weapons that he throws out there, the Ravager weapons. Just don't get hit by those. If you've done a lot of progression on General Nazgrim from Siege of Orgrimmar, this will be a very familiar mechanic for you. So just don't stand in them. It does a lot of damage, and it could quite easily kill you. Once you've killed him, go ahead and make your way out the door and up the hallway. If you're a Death Knight, you can Dark Sim the gunner here, the Lead Belcher. Go ahead and Dark Sim him, and you're going to use it on the big giant Ogre. Now, the Ogre will do a frontal cleave type attack. Don't stand in it. Don't stand in the dog's cleave. The Ogre will also do an AoE fear. It's really obnoxious. I am so sorry if you have melee, but melee, you either have to run away and do no damage, or you just have to eat the fear. It really sucks. But make sure you kill the ogres first. They are the #1 priority targets. We just wait here for our pre-pots to come off cooldown and let our healers heal. If you're a Death Knight, you want an army here, and if you have army, it lets you pull all the mobs in front of you, as well as the 2 ogres on the right hand side, and you're just going to want to AoE all the ogres down, focusing mainly on the big guys. If you have a shaman, you can use what is it, the totem that allows you to break fears. You can slap that down and it will break a fear, so you can use that. I unfortunately ate 2 full fears. It's like 10 seconds of being CC'd. It's really obnoxious. It's just really killing. I mean, you either do that or you just run away. Like, obviously I should have ran away, but I didn't. But just keep AoEing, make sure these ogres die. They're really, really obnoxious. If you can't do this pull like that, just go ahead and pull the mobs in front of you and don't pull the 2 ogres at the door. It's not a big deal. It really doesn't waste too much time. Like, you have plenty of time to get gold in this instance, honestly. Once all those mobs are dead, you should have mob count, and you should be good to go for the final boss, or for the instance really. You really shouldn't have to kill any more mobs. But go ahead and eat here if you need to. You know, wait for some pots to come off cooldown and pull this boss. This boss is pretty simple. He's going to breathe either left to right or right to left. Just don't get hit by the breath. It does a lot of damage. If you're Death Knight, you can use AMS, and you AMS and you run through the breath. And you'll get a lot of runic power, and you will still take damage though. For everyone else, really you cannot get hit by the breath, because it does do a lot of damage, and you might die like Padlord did right there. Unfortunately, Padlord died. And don't stand in the magma spit either, like our warrior did, and then he died. We B-resed him. As for these mobs, try not to stand in the circles. I almost died here. I'm so used to being a tank and just taking them to the face. Clearly, don't do that. You know, just AoE down the whelps when you can. Boss will come back down and he'll pretty much repeat his phase 1. Just keep burning him and don't get hit by the breath. I actually did get hit by the breath. So unfortunately I got hit by the breath there, almost died. I didn't, thankfully. Unfortunately our healer did die. And we didn't have any more B-reses for the healer, so we had to kill this boss the rest of the way without a healer. And basically means no one can get hit by anything from that point onward. Unfortunately, our hunter also died here. But once you kill the second set of whelps, the boss will come down. Try not to get hit by the little magma pools that he puts on the ground. They do a lot of damage. And if you can, go ahead and purge off the bosses in rage. Burning rage is what it's called. Just it starts doing a lot of damage. I'm actually kind of shocked we were able to kill this without a healer. But if you did die and you don't have any B-reses, you can go ahead and just release. He'll spawn back in the last boss's room. And what we did for this is we all just kind of suicided here. And you can invis potion here. This is actually where you will invis potion if you decide to do that instead. But since we wanted to use DPS potions for the last boss, we all just kind of ran through these mobs and we all died. And we have a hunter who can just stealth past everything. And we also have a resto druid who can just prowl past everything and just, you know, res us one by one. You see, the resto druid just ran right past everyone, and he's gonna start just rezzing us all. And what this allows is this allows you to not only reset lust if you somehow still have the lust debuff, but it also allows you to use DPS potions on this boss. Once you're done fooding up, you can go ahead and pull the two mobs on the bridge. Just, you know, focus one of them down or cleave them down together. It really doesn't matter. If you want to stop them from doing their slams, you can stun them, you can fear them, you can grip them, you can typhoon them. If you have a priest, you can actually mind control them and run them off the bridge, and they will sit down at the bottom doing nothing. That is actually the best thing you can do, is mind control them off the bridge. Just do not get hit by the shockwave. It does do a lot of damage. Once they are dead or dealt with, go ahead and pull the boss. Potion, cooldown, lust, everything. Just nuke the boss down. Boss is pretty straightforward. If you're melee, you probably don't want to stand on the boss during the cleave. It does do a lot of damage. A tank standing on it is fine, but as melee I was taking like 63k damage, and it was very, very spooky. Once you get the boss down to like 55% or whatever, the boss will jump off and summon 3 mobs. You just kill these mobs. Your lust should still be in effect, and you should be able to kill them quite easily. Just don't stand in front of the fire, and do not stand near the edges, because these mobs do a knockback. It's a small knockback, but it can hit you off the edge. It has happened before. Once the mobs are dead, just wait around for the boss to come back. It's a timed event, so you just have to wait for her to jump back down on her own. Just, again, do not get hit by the dragons. The dragons do a lot of damage, and this is like the easiest way to die on this boss, is just standing in the dragons. It does a massive amount of damage. And try not to tank in the fire either, like our fucking tank did. Our tank is unfortunately a little slow in the head and likes to stand in fire with bosses so that melee can't hit them. Again, if you're melee, watch out for the spin that she does. It does a lot of damage. You really don't want to get hit by it. Eventually this boss should die. It's not a very hard boss once you get used to it. Now, if you have any suggestions for this guide, go ahead and leave them in the comments. If you want to say anything, leave them in the comment. I usually read over all the comments and then I'll respond back, or you know, if you need anything. And if this helped you out, you know, subscribe, like, and the other 7 instances should be in front of you. Just click on one of them and it'll take you straight to the next one. Other than that, have a good day.